Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to continue the gear series review for my upcoming 2021 Appalachian Trail thru hike. So stick around, I'm going through my sleep system. Okay, so this is a quick rundown of my three sleep systems. On my right, this is my summer setup. In the middle is my shoulder season setup. And on my left is my winter setup. Unless anybody has any questions, I don't plan on talking about my winter setup. For my summer setup, I bring a Katabatic Palisades. It's a 30-degree quilt. This one is going on 8 years old. I've washed it a couple times. Great quilt. I match it with a Neo Air Uberlight. I'll put the weights on the screen for all these different setups as well. A lot of people I've read and seen on YouTube say that this leaks. I used this a lot this summer, and I camped almost trying to break it just to see how durable it was, and it never leaked on me, and I love it. I would say this setup right here will take me down comfortably to 40 degrees. I think the limitation is more the pad than the sleeping bag going down lower than that. Over here in the middle for shoulder season, this is a Katabatic Sowetch. It's a 15-degree bag. This is a 6-foot quilt, by the way. Over here I went with a 6'6" quilt. I'm 5'10", but like I said earlier, I like the extra length to store things like electronics, my water filter, and sometimes even my boots so they don't freeze at night down at the bottom. I match this with a Neo Air X Light, and I bring a pillow on shoulder season or when it's colder. I would say this comfortably gets me down to 30 degrees. And the only other thing I'll mention is if you want to get a little extra warmth, you could shift the pads a little bit. So take the 30-degree bag and bring the X Light, and you'll go from maybe, from my comfort, from maybe 40 to 35. You'll gain another 5 or 6 degrees. And just as an example, when I was on the AT this past February, it got down pretty cold at the beginning of the Smokies in the 15 range. And I had this bag, and I brought a warmer pad. This is Thermarest X-Therm. So between this pad and this, I took what I would consider a 30-degree system, and I took it down to high teens. So I did this with my rain gear video, and I thought I'd continue with my sleep gear. What I have here is all the gear I'm bringing for sleeping broken out by seasons. And just a disclaimer, these are my seasons. I consider summer and bringing summer gear for temperatures down to 40 degrees at night, shoulder season down to 30 degrees at night, and then I added winter, but I don't really plan on talking about it much unless anyone has any questions. So I've already gone through my sleeping pads, my insulation, and now I just want to talk about my incidentals. For a pillow, if I bring one, I bring a Cedar Summit Aeros pillow. A lot of times in the summer I don't bring one. I'll just use my clothes bag with whatever clothes I have left. And then miscellaneous gear, I always bring a pair of earplugs. The trail shelters and even tenting near shelters can be notoriously loud with snoring. I like Happy Ears. I think they're the best earplugs out there, and I'll try to do a review on them at some point. I always bring an ensuite. I like a Nalgene soft side canteen. I just like to know that when I get in the tent, especially when it's raining, I don't have to get out until morning. There's an alternative that a guy, section hiker on the web, recommends. That he uses these Packet Gourmet cooking bags. You can Google it and look, but I like the Nalgene canteen. Just two quick winter things. I'll always bring a 2.5 gallon Ziploc bag. I use it to put my boots or my trail runners in, bring them in the tent so things don't get dirty and they don't freeze. And if they do freeze overnight, I can bring them in my sleeping bag to thaw them out. You could also use bread bags. I bring a 1-quart Ziploc bag in the winter or anytime it's below freezing so I can sleep with my water filter. I also try to do a winter sleeping gear video. I bring some down booties and a Katabatic hood every once in a while, and probably worth talking about. And then just to sum up the weights, the summer gear is 1.7 pounds. You add almost a pound for the shoulder season gear. If you can't for whatever reason, have these two different setups, I would definitely go with the shoulder season gear. That'll give you the most flexibility. If you can get different gear, you can save a pound, which definitely could help your hike. So this is a review of my sleep system, my backpacking sleep system, specifically centered around the Katabatic Gear Palisades quilt. Just a few specs on the quilt. It's the regular length and size. It is about 17 ounces and it's 900 fill. I could have gotten, I think, 850 hydrophonic down or something like that, but I chose the 900. I also have a regular size Neo Air and a Cocoon, I think it's called a Hyperlight pillow. The pillow weighs approximately 2.3 ounces and the Neo Air I think is around 12 or so. Just to go through the quilt real quick, I'll show you how I have it set up. I use, unless it's hot, I don't use these, but almost every other time I'll connect these little cords that the quilt comes with. You can see they wrap completely around. There's one about midway down, one about third of the way down. What I did when I got the quilt was I put these little black marks with a Sharpie, so I always know where to put these, and they're permanently tied to the width of the quilt where the Sharpies are. The quilt, this is a really great quilt. It comes with these little connectors. Hopefully you can see that, it's focusing, and they keep the quilt so they're snug down. There's two types of ways you can use these. You can have them in kind of free-flowing mode, or you can cinch them down so that they're more snug, and you can pull them in and snug it in close to your body. So if it's cold out, you can have this quilt really tucked underneath you, and it doesn't move. Or you can have it off and just kind of use it like a blanket. The other thing is, once the quilt's down, cinched down with these straps, you can then take these other straps, and I'm trying to do this with one hand, and clip them as well, so it keeps more of the quilt really tucked under you. The other thing I like about this quilt is it's got a baffle. Hopefully you can see that, a neck baffle. I think a lot of quilts don't have that. And it's got a cinch strap, and it's got this really nice reinforced snap system right here, so you can snap this under your neck, and you can pull this tight, and functions like a sleeping bag, almost like a down sleeping bag. Here's a broader view of the quilt. So part of the thing about a quilt is it eliminates the bottom part of a sleeping bag that you compress anyway, and don't get any insulation out of that. You can see the baffles are they're about 5 inches or so, and it's hard to tell looking at this, but it's a very, very well made quilt. It's black, as most sleeping bags are inside, so that you can hang it out and it'll absorb the sun's light and dry out in the morning. It's great for thru hiking, it's great for long distance hiking, and it's great for an overnight. Sorry about the camera work. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.